Hey everyone, so I'm coming to you with another Ferocious Cup video, and this time around I'm going to switch up my team a little bit for my local tournament. Primarily I'm going to be running Purified Kanto Sandslash. So this is definitely a more off-meta pick, but it has some pretty positive matchups, especially against the anti-charmers, and also has a lot of potential to beat a lot of the core if it baits properly. So for my team, I'm running the standard Alolan Ninetales, Umbreon, Bidroll, and like my prior team, I'm running Raichu and Alolan Sandslash. The only difference here is that for my Alolan Sandslash, I'm running Gyro Ball instead of Bulldoze. This is because the Kanto Sandslash already covers a lot of the ground coverage I need from Alolan Sandslash, so this makes it a much better anti-fairy Pokemon. And then for Purified Kanto Sandslash, I'm running Return with Earthquake. Return is much faster to get to than Bulldoze, so it gives it a chance to bait or take out opponents when they're low on health, but can't just be farmed down with Mudshots. Alright, so getting into the first matchup, we're going against AONC. And so in this matchup, I'm going with Raichu, Bidroll, and Alolan Sandslash. And the reason why I'm not bringing Umbreon or Ninetales into this situation is because he doesn't really have, an Umbreon at all. And Shelgon has a pretty solid matchup against Umbreon as well. So I didn't really want to put myself in that situation. And so I figured Alolan Sandslash can do quite a bit of damage with both Ice Punch and Gyro Ball to take out Alolan Ninetales if he does decide to bring that. And so he does actually kind of shield this Shelgon more than I thought he would. So I'm going to shield right here as well. Worst case scenario, it was going to be a bait. And then we had a little CMP tie right there, so I'm just trying to let my Ice Punches go so I could potentially farm it. And so I was able to farm it one extra Powder Snow. It wasn't a huge difference just because he's very low on health. And right here, running into a little more lag, but I decided to just play it through. Was still able to get to Gyro Ball in time, and you'll see why Gyro Ball is really crucial against Charmers right there. And so right here, I have energy built up already on this Raichu, going straight with the Wild Charge and taking out the Bidroll. So with shields down, Raichu can do quite a bit of damage. And so in the second matchup, I'm going with Alolan Sandslash, Bidroll, and Raichu. He decides to stay in this matchup for a little bit as well. Not entirely sure why, but I'm assuming that he's trying to just take me out with flamethrowers. I'm choosing just to preserve this Alolan Sandslash, mostly because I want that Alolan Sandslash for the Ninetales in the back. I farm up a little bit more before using that last Ice Punch, and right here I'll see just so that I could bait out potentially a shield and get another one off in time. And so worked out. I came out with the shield advantage, and so I go straight in with a Bidroll in this situation. Not the best matchup, but at the same time too, I could resist the Shadow Claws, and so it's pretty much just Grass Knot that's going to take out this Bidroll. A little bit more lag right there as you can see on the screen, but we just keep playing through it at this point. Bidroll can definitely take one Grass Knot right there, so was actually able to win that matchup with shield. And then now that all the shields are down, same thing as before, that Wild Charge can take out the Bidroll in pretty much one shot with Wild Charge. So that was match number 2 with AONC. And so going to the third match, I'm bringing Umbreon, Bidroll, and Alolan Sandslash. Not really sure why I brought Umbreon, to be honest. I think I just noticed that he didn't play Alolan Ninetales in the last matchup. Does a quick switch, good switch by him, ends up absorbing the Surf damage, which is definitely not very effective. And then at this point, I wasn't sure if I was going to get to Hyper Fang or not, so I just go straight for the Surf, which was probably a good call because, as you can see, I fainted right away after that. So right here, I'm going with Alolan Sandslash. Again, I'm pretty much just going to shield this, knowing that it's probably a flamethrower again. Good call by him, because if I didn't, then well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he even is running Twister now that I think about it, because I haven't seen it yet. Going for Ice Punch right here, not a good idea. I was going just for a bait, but it wasn't a very smart bait because he's seen both the Gyro Ball and the Ice Punch Ray, so what I should have done is just saved the energy. That might have been a game changer right there. I had a little more lag right there, as you can see, but at this point I wasn't too concerned. It's not really a winning matchup anyway against this Alolan Ninetales. Might have actually been able to get to another Last Resort. Right here, so I did not expect Blizzard, because Blizzard hits a lot harder than Ice Beam or Psyshock. So I'm going to go in with the Ice Punch, and I just go in with another one too, just so I could potentially farm up this Alolan Ninetales just a little bit. And at this point, I know that's pretty much over. Just one Ice Punch is enough to finish me off. I do hit him with a Gyro Ball, which does a lot more damage than I thought it would. And as you can see, I actually died with a shield too. So had I shielded something earlier, might have been a closer matchup. Okay, so going into round number 2 against Evan the Best. I played Evan before, and I know he's a pretty strong player as well. So I knew this was definitely a close matchup. So I'm going in with Alolan Ninetales, Bibarel, and Raichu. He does a quick switch right there, which means that he's locked in at this point. I'm going to try to keep this Raichu alive, just because I could definitely get some usage out of it. And probably shouldn't have done this, but I went straight for a Brick Break bait. Well, although actually it ended up working out too. But here I'm going to have to shield again, unfortunately, just because, yeah, unfortunately it's just not enough. There's just not enough health on Raichu to really tank a lot of these. And then I kind of make the mistake of keep constantly using Brick Break. Wild Charge might have been a little better there. I don't even know, to be honest. But I was trying to get a little more extra farm, but I ended up just using back-to-back Brick Breaks on his Vaporeon. Brick Break is just not a great move. And right here, she's going to hit me with Foul Play. And I have Bibarel in the back. Not the best matchup right here. This Bibarel has to take out this Umbreon and Alolan Ninetales, and I just do not have the energy or the stamina to really take that out, unfortunately. And I believe he's even going to beat, yeah, he's going to beat me before I even see the Alolan Ninetales again. So, good first match with Evan. Something that really threw me off with his team is his Kanto Ninetales. I was just really worried about that the whole time, but I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go in with Alolan Sandslash and just, you know, open with a not safe switch there, because if he brought Ninetales there, then it would have been terrible. So, lost switch advantage right here. I'm just going to go straight in with Hyper Fangs, do what I can, but at this point, I'm not going to burn my shields on this because I know it's pretty much a losing matchup. And so I was trying to get to one additional Surf, which I do, and I was hoping that he would shield, and he does shield, which was good. At least I was behind on that. So going straight for Ninetales, and he switches quickly actually to Vaporeon. And this actually works out in my favor, because now that I have pretty much, I have switch advantage, but I'm not going to switch to Alolan Sandslash in this situation, just because I know that it's not going to do well against this Vaporeon. So instead, what I'm going to do is just use this Ninetales to take it out, and then now he has Alolan Ninetales in here, and I could just hit it with a Gyro Ball, and I believe he has no shields, and so it's going to one-shot it, and I was able to take out the Umbreon. So looking at this footage now, I actually kind of realized that no matter what, this is probably an unescapable outcome. When we're talking about when we're playing, Evan's like, oh, I kind of threw that way because I switched and lost switch advantage. But had he just let me take out his Umbreon with my Alolan Ninetales, yeah, I guess he would have actually brought in Alolan Ninetales instead, and then, yeah, so he actually did. Actually, I probably wouldn't have won that had he not done that switch. So, worked out a little bit in my favor there. I got a little nervous right here. I should not have shielded that Aqua Tail. Because I knew that there's no way he'd get to Last Resort faster than I can get to Hyper Fang. The only reason I did that is because I thought I was lagging a little bit and I was a few water guns behind, but it turns out he was just going for Aqua Tail spams. And then I tried to bait out Shield with Surf. That did not work out. Luckily, it worked out this time around on the second one, and here I'm just going to go in straight with another Surf, and luckily it was enough, and right here I'm just going to let this Aqua Tail go, hoping that I would just survive it, which I do with a little bit of HP. So third match right here, pretty much for the tiebreaker. He goes in with Alolan Ninetales. I go in my Alolan Ninetales as well. He quickly switched to Bibarel, and this is when I switch into Umbreon. So pretty much I knew that if he swapped out his Alolan Ninetales, there's really nothing that can really take out my Umbreon, unless there's a Stunting, but that kind of would have been game over for me if that was the case. So luckily it wasn't, and it was a Bibarel, and I was able to take out his Bibarel there. And right here, I wasn't sure if I could get to a Last Resort, so I went straight for Dark Pulse. Worked out in my favor because now he's down a shield. Had he not shielded, it wouldn't have mattered because I would have been up in health, and so I was able to take game 2 right there. So definitely a little lucky for me in game number 2, but definitely really tight match throughout. So going into round number 3, I'm going against Phoenix Uprising. This is a first Donphan I'm going against, and I really did not think that counter would do this much damage, but I should have realized because Alolan Sandslash is 4 times weak to it. So at that point, it was just like not even worth switching and losing switch advantage, so I just decided to bring in Bibarel to try to farm down this Donphan. But it built up quite a bit of energy, as you can see right here. And I believe I burned both shields right here, trying to maintain my switch advantage. Or not even maintain my switch advantage, just keeping this big roll alive. So not an ideal situation, but go into spit roll again, and in the mirror matchup, hoping to just do as much damage as possible. It was a little weird to see him bring a big roll out, so I was trying to just figure out like what might be in the back. Able to farm down this big roll myself, and so he probably could have done better had he brought in Umbreon into that matchup, because now this is going to be a positive matchup for Alolan Ninetales. Now, so if you take the win, even with the bad start. Had he brought Umbreon, that would have been a little better, because then if I brought in Alolan Ninetales, he could have brought in his own big roll, and that low, took me down a lot more, and probably could have won that one. So going to match number 2, I'm going with Umbreon, Vibroll, and Alolan Ninetales. So pretty much the standard meta. As I said before, I do end up using Kanto Sandslash in this tournament, just it hasn't come up yet. I can't use it too often just because it's weak to quite a bit of things. So I'm just going to let the Surf go. I want to maintain my shields, and he decides to switch in Alolan Sandslash, which is kind of interesting. I thought about just sticking in there, but I figured why not just bring in Big Roll, because it has a way better matchup anyway. He's going to go for Ice Punch. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to do that much damage, so I'm going to let this one go as well, because I know that it can't be a Bulldoze given how fast he used it. I'm going to go pretty much straight for Surf, because I don't want to have to burn shields to keep this Big Roll alive, even if I'm trying to farm. He ends up shielding it, which is kind of interesting. So at this point, I'm going to shield his move, because I wasn't really counting at that point, but Ice Punch would still take me down a little bit lower at that point. I was able to take out his Big Roll with Surf, and then right here, we're running into some more lag. Yeah, the area that we play, I unfortunately don't have the best service, so there's a decent amount of lag throughout, but we decided to keep playing through, and at this point, I don't need to shield anything that Umbreon's going to throw at Alolan Ninetales, and so, and it was foul play, so definitely didn't need to shield that. We continue to play through a little bit of the lag right there, and now he's going to switch in to Alolan Sandslash, but it just wasn't enough. It was so low on health at the point. He has a shield left, but I'm just going to just charm him down, because it's not really worth having to use that charge move. The charm's going to do plenty. So that was match number 2. And then going into match number 3, because I pretty much clinched the victory at this point, I decided to experiment a little bit, so I go with Alolan, or Kanto Sandslash. So Umbreon, Kanto Sandslash, and Raichu. I like this line a lot, so if anyone that's thinking about using Purified Kanto Sandslash, it's a solid line in the sense that it can burn shields, right? And so the main thing is, both Raichu and Sandslash do quite well when your opponents have minimal shields left. And so that's pretty much what I'm trying to do right here. And then I quickly switch to Kanto Sandslash, knowing that I can tank whatever move it is, maybe not the best, but I'm going to go straight for this Earthquake, and hopefully he either shields or does a ton of damage to Big Roll. He does decide to shield it, and because of CMP tie, he probably didn't need to use the Surf, but it ended up happening anyway. So now I'm going to go in with Raichu, and so with shields down, as you saw from the first matchup, that Wild Charge can do quite a bit of damage. And so it's pretty much going to one-shot this Big Roll. And then right here, I forgot that his Donphan had just used the charge move, so I probably could farm just a little bit more. But I figured just go for the Brick Break, because I don't know what's in the back end. And then turns out to be Linoon. And so even though Brick Break is super effective against the Linoon, Wild Charge is just a much better energy efficient move. So right here, I'm going to just protect my Raichu, because I couldn't really remember how much energy was left on my Umbreon, but I knew that Umbreon, because Shadow Claw does so little damage to it, he would have to use his energy to take me out with the charge move. Luckily, I was able to survive the Grass Knot too, so I'm going to hit him with the Dark Pulse. And so I end up taking that one, trying out Kanto Sandslash in a tournament setting. So going into round number 4, DK Ace, always one of my toughest competitors in the local scene. Very great player, and right here he goes in with Skuntank against my Alolan Sandslash, and so I do have switch advantage right here, but Skuntank with a slight energy leak can do quite a bit of damage, and so he chooses not to shield, and because of that, he's going to be up a shield, but I'm going to have the switch of priority right here. Going in with, you'll see that I actually had an Ice Punch ready, but I think I might have been contemplating going for Gyro Ball, and I just like pressed it too late. So either way, he's up a shield, but I do have switch advantage right here. He goes in with low Ninetales, and I'm trying to get to at least one side shock to force a shield because I don't want to go into this Bibarel low Ninetales matchup with a shield disadvantage. And so right here, I am going to go and shield this because I know that it'll take me very low. Was that the best decision? I don't really know. It was a close matchup either way. At this point, though, he's able to pretty much charm me down. I was hoping that he wouldn't get to a second charge move, which he doesn't. But his Umbreon's up quite a bit of health. And I was really hoping this was going to be Dark Pulse, but it ends up being Last Resort. Either way, I don't think it would have made a difference, even if I got that Ice Punch off on that Alolan Sandslash. So really well played by him because I had pretty much a switch advantage throughout, but he was able to edge out that victory. So we're going in to match number 2. I'm going in with Umbreon, Sandslash, and Raichu. And I'm going with Kanto Sandslash this time. I figured, why not just try this out against a really top tier player and see if it could work. So we're going for the mirror, and I started noticing that you'll see in a second, he's actually trying to win switch priority right here. And so that is something that's coming to my mind. I'm thinking, okay, if I could burn any of his shields in this mirror matchup, that'd be good. So I do not shield this one. I go straight in for Last Resort right here, and I believe he shields this one, or he doesn't. At one point we were shielding. Okay, so I go in for Dark Pulse. He ends up shielding, and then he's going in for a charge move as well. So I'm gonna shield this as well, hoping that he mirrors his shield or I win switch priority. And so I go in for another Dark Pulse. So it's kind of weird. We burn both our shields on Dark Pulses in the end. But he really wants to switch priority, so I'm thinking it doesn't matter what he has in the back end. Kanto Sandslash with a little bit of farm and no shields against your opponents can win pretty much any matchup in this meta. And even if it's a Bibarel, right? And so you'll see how much damage this Earthquake does right here. Boom, almost the entire health. And now, because I have a slight energy lead as well, I can shield this and hit him with a return. I could just risk it with the Mud Shots, but the problem is I'm taking super effective damage with the Water Guns. I just don't want to risk having Surf. So I have slight energy advantage. I'm going against Alolan Sandslash, and I was able to actually get to another Earthquake in time. That's the power of Mud Shot, really. And yeah, so if you can see that the Kanto Sandslash took out 2 of his Pokemon in the end with just 1 shield on it. I'd Raichu in the back end too, but it wouldn't have really mattered even if he took out my Kanto Sandslash right there. So going to this one, I thought he might have was going to lead Bibarel. So I end up going with Raichu, Bibarel, and Alolan Ninetales. Kind of a risky line, but you know, I kind of went for it, and it didn't really work out just because Raichu doesn't have the best matchup against Alolan Ninetales. It could do quite a bit of damage, and maybe I should have just stayed in there and just try to burn his shields with wild charges, and then just hope that whatever comes in next can take his side charge. But instead I gave up switch advantage, which probably wasn't the best case scenario right here. But yeah, anyway, so he goes in with Dark Pulse. Not the best situation at this point. And we're both up 1 shield apiece. I go quickly switch to my Raichu right here, and I don't know if this was the best idea of shielding this, but I just go straight for the wild charge anyway, hoping to take some advantage right there, and it doesn't work out. And so maybe I should have saved the shield for this Alolan Ninetales, but you know, it is what it is. And he hits me with Hyper Fang too, so there's no way I was going to take that out. And so that's GG right there. Great games against the Chaos Ace, always a tough competitor. And I don't know what our record is at right now. I think I'm like 2-10 against him in ranked tournaments. But anyway, so going into the final round number 5 against Master Brewer, I'm going with Alolan Ninetales, Bibarel, and Umbreon. And he goes straight for the Earthquake actually. So I guess go big or go home at this point. But I do end up shielding it just because Bibarel could potentially lose that matchup if I didn't shield it, even if it was Earth Power. So run into a little bit of lag right there, but we played through it, and I'm going to hit his Umbreon with Hyper Fang, and I'm not going to shield whatever's coming out here just because it's just not worth keeping this matchup alive. And yeah, so I go straight for the Surf, hoping that he shields, but he doesn't. Smart play by him on his end. I assume that Umbreon has quite a bit of energy, so I'm just going to bring in the Alolan Ninetales and soak up the Last Resort damage. And right here, even though I have low health on my Alolan Ninetales, I'm going to do whatever I can to really take out this, try to take this out. But at this point, even though he's up a shield, I know that I probably shouldn't have used this Dark Pulse now that I think about it. The only thing I was thinking about is if I potentially could get to another one in time. But, you know, either way, it ended up working out. Yeah, so that was the first matchup, and then now we're going with Umbreon, Bibarel, and Kanto Sandslash. So we get to see Kanto Sandslash in action once more. So right here, I'm trying to QSA. I think he was also trying to QSA, which is why none of us are pulling the trigger on the charge moves. Always kind of a weird scene, to be honest, when you see it with two Umbreons. Going in, we're just going to do some last resorts. Everyone knows kind of how these mirrors play out. QSAing again right there, and we just keep going back and forth essentially. I noticed that his health is a little bit lower than mine already, so if we just keep at this, then I could potentially win the matchup. So I think that's what forced him to go for the last resort right away. This might have just been an IV differential, to be honest, because I don't think anyone got extra charge moves on the other person. And so going in, and nice quick switch by him. He goes in straight with the Alolan Ninetales, and I go quickly with the Bibarel right here, and I was able to take it out. And now in a decent situation right now, because I still have two shields, I decided to shield that anyway, and I believe I honestly don't really know why I did shield that, but I think the main reason is because I wanted my Kanto Sandslash to deal with the opponent with no shields left, because he still has one other Pokemon left, and so this is going to force him to deplete all his energy onto my Umbreon, so I'm not going to shield that right there. And now I can farm his Umbreon with my Kanto Sandslash. See, I got quite a few mud shots on that, and now I'm going to go straight for the Earthquake. I also have a shield left too, so even if I don't know what else it could have been, but it would have survived it. So right here, block the foul play, game over. So Kanto Sandslash coming through again, and now we're going into match number 3. I go in with Alolan Sandslash with Bibarel and Umbreon. So I called this lead correctly here, and then now this is a pretty solid matchup for me. I'm going to go straight for the Surf just because depending on how he shields, it will determine if I shield or not, and I'm not going to shield now just because I saw he didn't shield, and I can farm down this Alolan Sandslash right here. And just going for back-to-back Ice Punches, which Bibarel can definitely tank, and actually does a third one too. And I'm playing a little risky here, but I'm pretty sure that I can survive another Ice Punch, which I do. So yeah, so I win that matchup lead. That actually took my Bibarel a lot closer down than I thought it would. You can see I'm spamming for that surf button because I know that I probably can't get to a Hyper Fang in time. Might have been actually able to, but figure just play safe at this point. So I have health advantage right here, and in the mirror matchup, it's going to be always better for me in this situation. I have Alolan Ninetales in the back with 2 shields. And I believe, I'm not sure if I end up keeping this Umbreon alive or not, because I think the main thing I was worried about is if he has a Nidoqueen in the back, against my Alolan Ninetales, that's not going to be ideal. So I do end up shielding, just in case he does have a Nidoqueen in the back, because then in that situation, I'm not going to be able to do anything even with 2 shields. So he ends up shielding too, and so this is making me think that there might be something in the back that I have to be concerned about. And turns out it was just Alolan Ninetales, and that ends up working out. Oh, I forgot, I actually had Alolan Sandslash in this situation, so it wouldn't have really mattered what was really in the back, I think. But anyway, so we go in, and I'm able to pretty much Ice Punch down this Umbreon, and that is the match. So that was the last match of the tournament. Hopefully you enjoyed the footage with Purified Kanto Sandslash. For the main thing to know about Purified Kanto Sandslash, to get one from a Rocket Quest and purifying it, there's only about, I think, 25 IV scenarios you can get where it can actually be low enough to use in Great League. So the best way to do it is find someone that has a low level account. What this means is when they purify their shadow Pokemon, it won't automatically bring their Pokemon up to level 25 if their own account isn't that high already. Thank you for watching. If you end up using Kanto Purified Sandslash in your cup, definitely let me know. I'm very curious to see how that ends up going for you. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all next time.